Hi everybody, I hope you had a great week. I'm just going to get into talking about the items from Shop My Stash last week. In this bottom drawer, we had foundations and finishing powder and some primers. So I had these Cover FX Power Play foundation and concealer in, and they are really awesome, and I'm going to keep them in another week. This Hourglass finishing powder is a trio, and I had this in for a couple of weeks now, and I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And I always use the Hourglass powders as finishing powders. And this Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base is awesome, and I like to keep some consistency with my base products. I'm going to leave that in. And these other primers pretty much stay in here all the time. In this next drawer here, I had pulled a few highlighters from MAC. And this is one that gives a more subtle highlight if that's what you're looking for, and this is in Barely Dressed, and it's a mineralized skin finish powder, and you could probably use that as a all over face powder if you had a nice fluffy brush. So this is another highlighter from MAC, and it is Double Gleam, and it has a gold shift to it. It's a really pretty highlighter. I really enjoyed using it. And then we have this one here, and hopefully you can see the shift in that. It's very pretty. It's a duochrome, and it is in the shade Soft Frost. So that was a really fun one to pull in this week. Also, I had a few NARS blushes in here, and this was Dolce Vita, and that was probably my favorite blush this week. And then I also had this pretty bright pink called New Attitude from NARS, and it left a really pretty flush to the cheeks. I was really happy to have my pore filling primer back in here from Tarte. It's like my tried and true, and that'll stay in. I had another blush here from Ciate, and these are like super glowy. So this one's in the shade In Too Deep, and when I say it's like glowy, I mean it. It gives more glow than it does color payoff. So I probably, for that shade in particular, I would just use it over another blush. That's how I did it anyway. So a few more items from Shop My Stash this week. We had this Becca, and this was a under eye brightening powder, and I'll probably leave that one in. And I'll replace this Besame setting powder with another powder, and this was in translucent. But talking about that Besame powder brings me into something else that I want to talk about. And it's this Waterfall fragrance mist from Besame. I have to tell you, I was so excited when I saw this packaging, but to be completely honest, this reeks. It smells like a skunk. And when I contacted Besame about it, it had been a duo that I got with a powder bronzer. And they basically told me that since it was a bundle, I would have to return both items. And I was not very happy about that. And then they asked me to try to wash this bottle and blame the skunk smell on the packaging. So I was very unhappy with that. I will be returning this, but I'm super disappointed with Besame. And honestly, I don't know if I'll purchase from them again after that experience. Moving on. I had this drawer on top here where I was experimenting with some wings liners, which was really fun, and I enjoyed it so much I'm probably going to keep it in again. And if you haven't tried this Vamp Stamp, this thing is really, really helpful at trying to set your wing up straight and just give you like that starting point to use. So I had these shadow sticks from Mally in champagne and pink champagne, and I'm going to go ahead and take those out and pull something else for the week. I had pulled these lip glosses here from Urban Decay, and I'm going to take the red one out, but I'm going to leave Rapture in, and they're nice, and they have like a mintiness to them, which is pretty nice. And then I usually leave my mascara and brow products pretty constant. So I had also pulled a few items that you'll see up here are the Cocoa Contour and the Busy Art GLAMCOR Volume 1 and 2. And then this MAC Prep and Prime, you know, I did mostly finish that. So I had this Riki mirror here, and it is really awesome. I've enjoyed using it. I took some of the Viseart shadows out of the GLAMCOR Volume 2 and placed them in here. It was just really fun to, you know, use this, and I love it. And I do have an active giveaway for this for when I reach 500 subscribers. So if you want to know how to enter that, just check out Shop My Stash number 9 for details. And I will put that back for the week. I had also really enjoyed this Too Faced Cocoa Contour. And I mostly use this shade right here, which is the light contour. But I got a lot of good use out of it, and I'm just going to put that back. And I love scented makeup, so just can't be beat. So this is my MAC setting spray that I was using, the Fix Plus Prep and Prime. And it's just got this little teeny tiny bit left in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull something else for this week, and I will finish that off. And then I had the Viseart GLAMCOR Volumes 1 and 2. And I'll put those shadows back into the GLAMCOR Volume 2 from the Riki Colorful. And then I'll put this back in my collection. But I just love the Viseart palettes. So I get a lot of good use out of them. So the GLAMCOR Volume 1 is the mattes palette. And the Volume 2 is more so like a mix of finishes that are all shimmery. I'll give you like a peek of some of those that I had left in here. There you go. And it's time to shop my stash. I've been thinking about pulling a Tarte blush palette this week, and I have one right here that comes to mind, and that's the Tarteist blush palette. And I think those are really pretty shades. I think that'd be a good choice for the week. I also have this Skin Twinkle palette that's right next to it that's got a couple of highlighters that I do like, so I'm going to pull that in also. And I've enjoyed using that Too Faced Cocoa Contour palette this week, so I'm going to pull it in this Black Book of Bronzers, which I haven't used in a while. This week I'm going to pull a powder from Too Faced, and so I'm thinking about this one here. It's a translucent ethereal setting powder, so we'll pull that one in. And I was thinking about pulling one of these Artist Couture highlighters. Okay, so that's Summer Haze, Purple Dream, Cocoa Bling. I'm going to pull in Cocoa Bling for the week. I think that'll be a pretty highlighter. And then I haven't used these Too Faced blushes in a while, so I think that I'll pull one of these in. Let's just take a look at them and see what they're looking like. Okay, that's like a bright pink. Let's see what this one is. Okay, that's more of like a subdued peaches. Okay, I'm going to bring that one in. I guess it's just going to be a Too Faced kind of week. I did pick up the new Norvina palette, so I was kind of thinking that these Dose of Colors palettes would be a good complementary palette for that one. So Marvelous Mauves, of course, is one that I would like to pull in, and I'd like to pull one more. I think that one's probably too warm. We'll go with this Pretty Cool palette. I'm feeling like pulling some of the Anastasia glitters. So I'm thinking this one would be a good choice, and that's in the shade Bijou. I have no idea how to say that, but just so you can see it, that's the name. And probably this one would be good. I'm feeling all the pinks and purples right now, and this is Aphrodite. I think that one's really pretty. I saw this purple one here, and I'm feeling crazy sparkly, so this one's called Royal. I'll pull that one in, and then this one also caught my eye here. And that's in the shade Charmed. Very pretty. That'll be enough glitter for the week. I'm going to pull one more face palette because I feel like I really just need to change up my finishing powders. And I'm thinking about one of these hourglass palettes here. So let's just see about this one here. I think that'd be good. I do like the way that this looks when it's buffed into the skin. It looks really pretty, and that's a gorgeous blush. So I'll pull this one in. It's time to pull a new setting spray because I did pretty much finish that MAC one that I was working on. So I'm kind of thinking about one of these Smashbox ones here. So let's see. Okay, So Chill Coconut, Serene Greens, or Centering Citrus. And you know what? I think I'm going to pull this Centering Citrus one. Have you guys tried any of these? Everything from Shop My Stash last week over here, and everything I pulled that's new over here, and a couple of things that I pulled off camera. And we'll get started with this Artist Couture in Cocoa Bling. This is a loose highlighter, and let me see if I can get you a swatch here. It's very pretty. I've used it before. I really do enjoy it. And here's a swatch for you right here. You can see it's got a really nice sheen to it, and I really like it a lot. So we will add that one to the front of the organizer here. And then we'll move on to this Tarteist blush palette. And there's 4 shades in here. And I want to say that this was a holiday edition, but I can't quite remember. But either way, I got it on sale at Ulta, and I really do like it a lot. I think the Tarte blush formula is a very nice formula. And you can see there I'll have a nice variety of shades for the week with that palette. So we'll add that to the front of the organizer here. And then we'll move on to this Twinkle palette. And I like this one better than the other. This is the volume 2. And with the volume 1, I recall it having a very like scratchy powder in there that I just had no use for. So let's get you some swatches here. And we'll do that right here. And you'll see some of them are a little dark, but that second one right there, it really does work for me, and I'm keeping it around basically for that one. It's got a nice sheen to it. And we'll add that one to the top of the organizer also. I have this really pretty Too Faced blush. This one is a shade that is called Peach Beach. And I just think it's so pretty. So let's see if we can just get you a shade swatch there. And it's very much like a glowy blush. And there you go. Very pretty. I really do like it a lot. And this is kind of a big one. I don't know if it's going to fit in here. We'll see. Oh, look, it fits, you guys. It fits. That's a nice surprise. Next, we'll look at this Too Faced Ethereal Setting Powder. And it has a nice little sifter there, and it's a translucent powder. So we'll add that probably to the bottom middle drawer here, because I don't think that that will fit. It's very thick, so anywhere else. So there they are. And I had pulled this Hourglass palette here and thought that it would be a good way to, you know, use a different finishing powder, even though I use Hourglass products basically like every day. So I'm just gonna swatch this for you here. It's one of the holiday edition face palettes, and I do really enjoy it. And that finishing powder, it looks a little dark, but once you buff it out on the skin, it's no problem. And there you go. It's basically just a full face palette. We'll add that to the top of the organizer here. I had pulled in this Smashbox Centering Citrus Primer Water to finish this off and then bring this in as my primary. So I'll add that to the organizer there, and I haven't tried that before, so We'll see how good it is. I pulled this off camera. It's the J1 Jelly Pack, and this is a hydrating primer. And I got it on sale a couple of months ago, and I haven't used it yet, so I'm just going to add this to the bottom drawer and give that a try. I bought a few lip liners and some lipsticks from Kylie Cosmetics. I went a little crazy, y'all. So she had her lip liners on sale for $5, and she had some of her lipsticks on sale also. So I pulled a few lippies that were new to my collection, and I'm going to bring them all in here. Very pretty packaging. I like her packaging a lot. And then we'll try to pick some corresponding lip liners. We'll see how successful we are. So we'll start with this first one here. This is in the shade Mont Blanc. Oh, that's a really pretty shade. I like that a lot. So we'll get a little swatch here so you can see that. It's a really pretty shade. I like it already. And then I also picked up this shade here, and the color is Pomegranate. So it'll give you a nice variety of lippies for the week. That's a really pretty shade. I love that red color. And then this is the shade Infatuation. Ooh, that's like a purpley pink. That's very pretty. And this last one is Red Hot. Ooh, look at that red. That's going to look really pretty. Almost looks like an orangey red. So let's see if we can find some corresponding lip liners. So this one is in the shade, looks like Beau. Let's see if it corresponds with any. Okay, that looks like that would probably go really well with this second one here. So we'll add that, and I'll probably keep these in a couple of rotations so I can get a good feel for them. Let's check this pink one here. This one is in the shade Kristen. I don't know about that one. It doesn't look like it's really corresponding with any of them. So I'll put that one aside. That one's definitely going to be too dark. This one is Dulce K. Okay, I like that one. Looks like it'd pair well with this top one. So far we've got a corresponding liner for two. We just need a couple more. That looks like it's probably going to be a too dark of a red. Probably too dark of a red. Okay, this one we'll check out. And it says 22 is the shade. That could work with this one here. It toned it down probably a little bit. So let me see if we can find a better one. Okay, this is Dirty Rose. That's not really matching. Look at that, y'all. Did y'all see that? It totally was bending. Maybe that's why they were $5. We're going to pull this 22 one in. So we're still looking to see if we can find something for this purpley pink here. Let's try that one. Ooh, that looks like it'd be really nice for another shade, but maybe not that one. This one looks like Malibu. Let's see what we got there. It's more of a brown. It's got a little bit of purpley undertones to it. That one is the shade Souffle. This one is the shade Forever and Always. It looks very pretty in the applicator. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to have a shade that corresponds closely with this one, but that's okay. Let's see what this one has. So that one is in the shade Ginger. And this one is Coconut. That's pretty. But no dice on a match there. And here's Caramel, and I'm sure that this one's not going to match either, but just for swatching's sake. You see how similar some of those are starting to look though? Like I said, I went a little crazy. Can't resist a $5 lip liner. And there's Hot Chai. That's a pretty brown. I really like that a lot. And Iced Latte is the last one here. So no luck on anything really corresponding with this one here. But that's okay. I'm sure I have something else in my collection. I'll look around. But I love this variety of colors. It's very pretty. And just so you can see the finish there. They have a little sheen to them for the most part. So, what do we think about that? Did any of you guys pick up any of these $5 lip liners? I couldn't resist. So the next thing that I pulled from my collection was this little black book of bronzers here. And I just think that this is so cute. I've had it for a while. I don't use it very often. I don't even know if it has the chocolate scent anymore. Let me check it. Yeah, it's still chocolate scented. So we've got Milk Chocolate Soleil, which is a favorite for me. And here's Chocolate Soleil, Snow Bunny, Dark Chocolate Soleil, Pink Leopard, Beach Bunny, Endless Summer, Sun Bunny, and Milk Chocolate. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but that was my son coming up to, tell me he loves me. Isn't that sweet? So I will add this to the top of the organizer here. Alright, the next ones that I pulled, because I did pick up the Norvina palette, were the Dose of Colors Pretty Cool and the Marvelous Mauves. So let's just get some swatches here of both. And I love this one, Marvelous Mauves especially. It's one of my favorites. And it's an all matte. I mean, it's just the pigmentation's insane and it really blends out very well. I really like it a lot. So just so you can see the shades there, and there's one left to go, and I use that one frequently for just deepening up and sometimes as a liner. But it's just a really pretty palette. If you can catch this one on sale, I would totally pick it up. And then here's the Pretty Cool. I thought that these mattes would complement that Norvina palette pretty well because when I was looking at it, it is very colorful. I didn't see a whole lot of transition shades in there, so I wanted to pull this in so I had some options this week. So there's swatches of the Marvelous Mauves and the Pretty Cool. And I'm just going to add those to the top of the organizer here. And space is a little bit limited, so they'll be just kind of sitting off to the side there. And then let's swatch these Anastasia glitters. Aren't they pretty though? I mean, I'm really excited about these. Get a little bit of the glitter glue out here. And I usually just, put a little bit down, and it holds them pretty well. They adhere really well, so I usually don't have any problems with them. And I did find that I had to use quite a bit of the glitter glue with that Busy Art Grand Pro 2 in some of the shades last week, so for your awareness, that did happen. So I just put some strips down of the Too Faced glitter glue. So we'll start with this one here. This is Aphrodite. I think that is just gorgeous. Just love how sparkly that is. And it has a cute little sifter that's very functional on the top here. So let's see if I can get you a good swatch here. Right there. Okay, so I have a little bit on my fingertip there, and we'll just tap it across the top here. See if we can build it up just a little bit more. Oh, it's a really pretty shade. Go for a little more even. Now we're talking. So you just kind of pack it over the glitter glue. I usually pack it till it's like not tacky anymore. There we go. And that is just very beautiful. And I really like that one. So that was the shade Aphrodite. Just so you can have another look there. And we'll add that to the organizer here. And then the next one we're going to look at is the shade Charmed. Just so you can see a nice close-up of that one there. Same kind of packaging. It has a little sifter. Makes it easier to apply. And that's what it looks like. We'll just tap that over on the second line here, and that looks so pretty. My goodness, that is gorgeous. And I am going out to dinner with my husband today, so I am sure that I'm going to bring that one out because that is beautiful. And then this next shade here, I'm just going to call it Bijou, guys. I have no idea how to say it. But it's very pretty. And just so you can get a feel for those colors. You can see the shift of the blue in there. I mean, it's just beautiful. I love her glitter formula. It's very fine. It's very sparkly. I love that it's got nice packaging with a sifter. And there's what it looks like. And we'll just put that over this line here. It's just absolutely a stunning glitter. I mean, wow. Look at that, y'all. I mean, do you guys love glitters like I do? I mean, I just can't get enough, really. So we'll put that one up in the top of the organizer here. And then our last one here is this purple. And it's called Royal, and it really caught my eye. I just thought that that is gorgeous. So, look how pretty that is. Let's give this one a try. And I don't think I've used this one before. But just so you can see, look how sparkly that is. I mean, my goodness. Okay. Kind of reminds me of the top glitter there. Like it takes a little bit more glitter to make it pop. But they give you plenty of product, so don't worry about that. Okay, there we are. That might be the prettiest thing I've seen all day. What do we think about these glitters here, you guys? Are you as impressed as I am? I just love glitters. So we'll add that last one, Royal, to the organizer here. And then I did want to show you the Norvina palette. And there she is. Let me just wipe this glitter off here. Takes a little bit of scrubbing to get it off. You know, because that glitter glue really works. So, moving on to this Norvina palette. So I was pretty happy to be able to pick this up when Sephora had their sale. And I have not even used it. I'll be swatching it with you guys for the first time. So just so you can see it up close here. So this is, you know, based on this color scheme, the reason I pulled in the other palette, I didn't see a whole lot of transition shades that I would traditionally use, but that doesn't mean that you can't. So let's just get some swatching going. And she didn't name her shades in the traditional way. She just went by row and called them like, this is A1 through A4 here. There's A1 through A4. And then one more shade in the top row here. That's A5. Very pretty colors. And then moving on to the B row. They feel really soft. Let's see. Yeah, they're very smooth. I think this is going to end up being a really nice palette to use. And the last shade on that row would be B5. So if you like colorful palettes, this might be a good option. And I think I got it for around $50 with the sale, with tax and everything included. So I was very happy with that. And of course, I'm pretty sure that Ulta is going to end up carrying this one if they aren't already. I love Ulta rewards. They're so much better than Sephora. Are you guys like more of the Ulta or more of the Sephora? I've been getting more into indie brands recently also, so kind of takes me away from the mainstream sometimes, which I think is good. So this is row C. And wow, they're really smooth. I think you would probably like these. We're going to move on to row D. And you can see, I mean, I don't even really have to dip in very much to get pretty good pigmentation. And I say that, and then look at that blue. I don't know, I feel a little disappointed by it. Let's see if we can build it up some. Nope, I guess that is kind of just the shade. I guess it's alright. Not quite what I thought it was going to be in the pan. It looks a little more vibrant in the pan. And this is D5 right here. So that's all of rows C and D here. What do we think about that so far? That bottom half is not normally the colors that I use, so I don't have too many like it in my collection. I'm looking forward to giving it a try. And then we have one row left. Let's see. And this is row E. Okay. So that E3 didn't swatch very well. It's kind of a mustardy color. And then let's look at E5. But that could be because I have a little bit of moisture left on my hands. So I don't know if I judge the book by the cover swatch here. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that row of shades. But I don't know. I have been trying yellow eye looks recently and really liking them. And just so you know, definite staining going on there from that row. It looks like it was probably E4, but I'd have to go back and look. It's either E4 or E5 that was doing some serious staining. But anyway, it is a pigment palette. So can't say I'm surprised by the staining. But it's a really pretty palette. I'm looking forward to using it this week, and you know, we'll add it to the top of the organizer here. And we are full of dairy dyes. Absolutely full. So let's just take a look at everything we pulled in. And this concludes the Shop My Stash, and I hope that you have a really wonderful week. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.